You've been lied to. Every self-help book, every Instagram reel, every motivational speech you've ever watched, they all told you the same thing. Find your why, stay motivated, believe in yourself. And yet, here you are. You had the motivation. You felt it burning in your chest. And you still didn't follow through. That's not your fault. That's a design flaw in the advice you were given. Because motivation was never meant to carry you. Discipline was. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the difference so clearly that you'll never confuse the two again. Here's the truth about motivation that nobody wants to say out loud. Motivation is an emotion. And emotions are weather. Some days the sun is out. You're unstoppable. You wake up before your alarm. You hit the gym. You answer every email. You feel like the main character in your own story. Other days, rain, fog. You can barely get out of bed. And no amount of, "you've got this," gets you moving. The problem isn't that you're lazy. The problem is that you've been trying to build a life on top of a feeling that was never designed to last. Motivation follows action. It doesn't precede it. Read that again. You don't wait until you feel like doing the work. You do the work, and then the feeling shows up as a reward. David Goggins doesn't wake up every day feeling motivated. He has said in his own words that most days he hates it. He does it anyway. Michael Phelps trained 365 days a year, including Christmas, including his birthday, not because he was motivated every single day, but because his training was non-negotiable. That word, non-negotiable. That's the entire difference. Motivation says, "I'll do it when I feel ready." Discipline says, "I'll do it whether I feel ready or not." And here's what's brutal about that gap. The people who understand discipline are quietly lapping the people who are still waiting to feel inspired. Now here's where this gets interesting. Because I'm not telling you motivation is worthless. It's not. But you've been using it wrong. Think of motivation like jet fuel. It's explosive. It's powerful. It gets the plane off the ground. But it burns fast. You can't fly across the ocean on jet fuel alone. You need the engine underneath it. That engine is discipline. Motivation is your ignition. Discipline is your fuel system. Neuroscience actually backs this up. When you do something new and exciting, start a new diet, sign up for a gym, commit to waking up at 5 a.m., your brain floods with dopamine. That's the motivational high. It feels incredible. You feel certain you'll follow through this time, but that dopamine hit fades within days, sometimes hours. What builds in its place, if you keep showing up, is something far more powerful, a neural pathway, a habit groove so deep that the action becomes automatic. You don't decide to brush your teeth every morning. You just do it. That's discipline in its final form, when the war with yourself is already over before it begins. And this is why the people who rely on motivation alone always quit at week 2. It's not weakness. It's biology. The people who build discipline, they get through week 2 on fumes, through week 3 on routine, and by week 4, they don't need to think about it anymore. The work has become part of who they are. So the real question isn't, how do I get more motivated? The real question is, how do I build a system that doesn't need motivation to run? So how do you actually build discipline? Here are the 3 principles that separate the people who talk about changing their lives from the people who actually do it. Number 1, start stupidly small. Your brain resists effort. It is designed to conserve energy. When you try to overhaul your entire life in 1 week, your brain treats it as a threat and fights back. That's why resolutions die by January 15th. Instead, make the starting point so small it feels almost embarrassing. Not, I'll work out for an hour every day. Try, I'll put on my gym shoes and walk to the door. That's it. Just the shoes. Because the hardest part of any disciplined act is starting. Once you're in motion, you stay in motion. Momentum is physics, not motivation. Number 2, remove the decision. Every time you have to decide whether to do the thing, you give yourself a chance to say no. Disciplined people don't make that decision daily. They made it once, and they made it final. James Clear calls this commitment devices. The night before, you lay out the gym clothes. You prep the meal. You block the time in your calendar. You eliminate the choice at the moment of weakness because that moment will come. And if you have to rely on willpower in that moment, you will lose. The goal is to make the disciplined choice the path of least resistance. Number 3, identity before outcome. This is the one most people miss. They say, I want to become someone who runs every day, but they still see themselves as someone who doesn't run. Discipline is built on identity, not goals. Identity. Ask yourself, who is the person I'm trying to become? And then, every single day, cast a vote for that person. Wake up early? That's a vote. Skip the junk food? That's a vote. Show up when it's hard? That's a vote. You don't become disciplined all at once. You become it one vote at a time. If this hit you, share it with one person who needs to hear it. Not as a flex, because it might actually change something for them. And if you want to go deeper on building systems that actually stick, I've got a video on morning routines or atomic habits, stopping procrastination, that picks up exactly where this one ends. It's right there. Go watch it. You don't need to feel ready.
Like this video if you're committed to success. Subscribe for powerful motivation every week.